Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, the 19th of November, and we are starting a new weekend reading vlog, which is a continuation of the last reading vlog, which I just posted. Well, I should post it tonight, and you should have already been able to see, which was a week reading vlog, a work week reading vlog from Monday through Friday. And because it was getting too long, I decided to kind of do a part 2 and just continue it within a new reading vlog. It is a very beautiful sunny day. I don't know if you can see very well. I don't have much to do around the house. I already cleaned the apartment a little bit. I just need to change my sheets, and then I need to work on my planner for the week, for the following week. And I have some work matters to handle, which sometimes I like to do during the weekend because I have more time to kind of relax and think clearly without pressure. And I usually do that for the matters that require more creativity, which recently there have been a lot of. And then I need to make a list of and order my groceries. And because it's Black Friday week, I would call it, where since yesterday until the next Friday, there will be a lot of discounts on everything. And I saw a keyboard that I've been wanting for the longest time with mechanical keys that sounds very nicely like a typewriter. And I've been wanting to buy it for the longest time, but I don't need it. And I couldn't justify spending the amount of money because it's rather expensive for no reason. But because of the discounts, now it's more than 50% reduced, and I can finally justify purchasing something unnecessary like that I just want. So we're gonna go out and do that after we're done with my desk work, and after that we're gonna come home and we're gonna cook a little bit, and I'm gonna read. What am I reading? Well, if you have watched my last vlog, and you should if you haven't, I'll link it over here, you know that I started reading The Shadow of the Wind like forever ago, and I still haven't completed it, but I have made a decent progress in it. I am 350 something pages in, which means that I am over the 50% hump. I would like to complete it during this weekend. This is a historical fiction / mystery / magical realism, I would say. At least it has these paranormal elements into it. And it's a very weird book that I am enjoying, but there are some things that I don't necessarily like about it, and I'll talk about it probably a little bit later. Let's see how the book is going to continue. I'm very intrigued by the mystery in this book. It's a very famous read by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. What else am I reading? Well, I am at chapter 9 of The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 4th and last book in the second era of the Mistborn series, which is a fantasy series that pretty much everybody is familiar with. And if you're not, I highly recommend it. I read Era 1 back in 2018 or 2019. I can't remember at this point. And then I had avoided Era 2 for the longest time. And like 2 months ago, I believe in September, I decided that I finally wanted to start it because I heard that The Lost Metal was coming out in November. And then I read the entire 3 books of the series within a week. I had such a great time reading them. I don't think they're perfect, but there were a lot to like about them. And I was very excited about The Lost Metal. And it just came out on Tuesday this week rather, and on the 15th. And I purchased it on my Kindle and then transferred it on my Kindle app on my iPad because my Kindle is acting out. It's very old. It's like at least 6 years old at this point. So it might need to be changed, but I like my stuff. I don't like changing things. Regardless, I started reading it 2 days ago, I believe. I haven't made much progress, as you can see. I was hoping that I could do that last night, but there were other stuff, friends called and things like that, and I kind of got distracted. Hopefully today I'll make more progress. Ideally, I would like to finish those 2 books this weekend, but I am not sure whether that's doable. Still, I'm gonna do my best, and we'll see how much progress I could reasonably make. Enough yapping, let's go do things. What? Is your tail in your way? Great job, guys. Great job. Alright, the bed has been fixed to some extent, and now it's on to coffee. It's about 8 in the evening and I just finished working on my planner for next week. And actually I didn't finish, I still have a lot of work to do on that, but I managed to outline the most important things that I need to do by the end of today and tomorrow in order to be on point and on schedule for my travel next week, which will take a lot of packing on Monday. And on Monday I also have a bunch of meetings and I have to go to a laboratory and a whole lot of other stuff, but we're not going to talk about that right now. I haven't had the opportunity to read any of the Lost Metal so far today, but I was able to read a little bit from The Shadow of the Wind, and I have reached page 400 actually, so I have 100 and something pages remaining, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to catch up to those pretty quickly. So far it's going well. The new keyboard is working perfectly. I am so happy with it. I'm about to cook dinner and prepare for a chill evening at home. There'll be no pressure for anything, and yeah, I had a very good day. I'm having a bit of a headache because there was a lot of things that I did and a lot of people I met during the day, and every time I go to the mall, especially when there's a lot of people, I get a headache afterwards, which is a very weird coincidence, but it is what it is. My groceries also arrived, so I'm about to go cook dinner and have a nice chill evening. It is Sunday at noon and I have just gotten a few minutes to sit down and update you on what's going on because I haven't had the time the whole morning. I filmed a little bit of B-roll shots, but haven't really had the opportunity to sit down and talk to you until this moment. I woke up rather early because my cats were dropping my books off my shelves, so I came here to put order in the chaos. And then I took a shower and then I made myself a coffee and I sat on my desk, and I have been there since then, which has been already 4 hours maybe. Yeah, 4 or 5 hours. I was able to edit the vlog until this moment, which is not a big achievement because honestly I didn't have that many clips. But more than that, I was able to actually finish The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And I gotta tell you, this is such a weird book that I don't know what to say about it. I didn't not enjoy it, but I find it very morbid and it was not what I expected. I think had I known what I was getting myself into prior to it, I would have been better prepared. I am not the type of person to clutch my pearls usually, but in this case I did not expect the darkness of the read. I expected it to be a little bit more of a tame historical fiction like you're used to, but it turned out to be very, very morbid. Like the author has these fixations on things and uses very specific ways to emphasize certain moments. Like there was this situation where he was describing the decay of the body with an old woman, and he was fixating on her breasts and the state in which they are. And I found that a little bit uncomfortable to read. And there was a few other moments where he was, how do I say that without getting in trouble on YouTube? A person was disrespecting another person by relieving himself on top of that person. And it's not that I am opposed to this way of describing situations, because it's really disturbing. And I guess that's what he was going for. But it was multiple times, and it caught me off guard, honestly. Anyway, the author has a great writing style and a great way of telling a story and keeping you interested, even if the story is itself not that interesting, although in this case it was. But he managed to split it very nicely into multiple points of view, although we are generally reading from the point of view of the protagonist, which protagonist pissed me off multiple times, and I know that the author did that intentionally. And yeah, I don't know, it had a strangely happy ending, which I absolutely did not expect, although it was rather tragic in other ways. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars or 4 stars. Definitely not 5-star read, but very good read nevertheless. And I'm excited to continue with the series, although now I will be better prepared for it. I haven't read at all The Lost Metal since Friday, and I'm hoping that today I'll be able to catch up somewhat to it, but I think we can all let go of the hope that I will finish it during this weekend. But life goes on. I will have the opportunity to do so during the next week, hopefully, although I'm traveling, it's going to be a mess. And the plan for the rest of the day is, if I can drag myself out, I might go to the gym, I might not, we'll see. And then cook some nice things at home and hopefully read or watch something. I really need to rest as much as I can today, because again, next week is going to be super, super busy. Anyway, let's go do it. Good morning. It is Tuesday around 10 or 10:30, and I realized that I haven't updated you in a couple of days or so, and that is because I have been so busy these days with the travel to Spain that I need to do for work, and with all the preparation for that, and with other work that still doesn't stop no matter what, obviously. Personal life, it's just been one thing after another. I have woken up a little bit later than I usually do, and I took a shower and I fix the room around. I'm noticing that I started washing my dishes from dinner in the morning, which is not a good habit, and I don't like it, and I have to fix it, but it's because we eat dinner so late recently. Not important. But I was thinking, I have a dishwasher that it seems it doesn't work, and I have never used a dishwasher in my life, so I'm not even sure what could be wrong with it. I might call somebody to fix it next week or the week after, we'll see, but I'm starting to realize that I might really need it. Besides that, I read yesterday quite a lot, and I reached around 30 to 35% of The Lost Metal, and I'm enjoying myself very much. I also had a call with my friend Bibi, with whom we are having a little bit of a book club, and we're buddy reading books pretty much every month, sometimes more than once a month. And the last book that we read together was The Way of Kings. It was a reread for me and first read for Bibi, and I'm so happy she liked it. But we wanted something more light and fast-paced to read, and we decided to pick Running Blind by Lee Child. This is book number 4 from the Jack Reacher series, and it so happens that every time I fly, I'm reading a Jack Reacher book. I don't know how that times up. It's never intentional, but this time it just again overlapped. I am flying tomorrow, which means that today is gonna be super busy. I have so much work to do. On the other hand, I have to pack. I also want to go to the gym. I have to go to the post office and pick up a package, which I believe is the leather-bound edition of Elantris. I'm not entirely sure, but I hope it is. And on top of that, I don't know, my planner is somewhere around here. I would also like to read a little bit, and I have some designing projects that I need to look into. I have to record a voiceover for a friend. It's gonna be tight, but I am excited about the day that is to come. My weekend reading vlog, by the way, turned into another weekly reading vlog, I'm guessing, because I wasn't able to film at all during the past few days. Okay, so before I start packing, I decided to make some bread for sandwiches for tomorrow. And how I make it is, I'm in the middle of making it, but basically I melt cream cheese and mozzarella cheese together. Well, basically I put it in a metal bowl on top of a pot full with water. I don't know what it's called in English. I melt it like that. Then I put 3 eggs with the cheese in the food processor. And then I add almond flour, but not the bleached one, the one that has the peels and everything. And then I also add some of the almond meal. It's not as fine. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of baking powder. I don't know, like a teaspoon or something. And I believe that is all. We're now gonna zap it together and then put it in the oven. I'm gonna preheat it at 180 Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, I believe. So I basically mix it in the food processor and keep on adding almond flour until it reaches like a chewing gum consistency. And now we're gonna butter parchment paper and then throw this thing in the oven. And it's ready to go into the oven. And of course, I forgot to film the end result, but this is a picture of what the bread looks like once it's done, and it's great for sandwiches, tastes lovely, and keeps for a very long time. A bit past midnight on Wednesday, 23rd of November, and I have just checked into my hotel in Girona. I landed in Barcelona a few hours ago and then had to take a cab to the train station, and from there take a train to Girona, and from there walk real quick to the hotel so that I can catch my check-in time, because they only do check-ins until midnight. It was such a hassle. It was such a long day. I left my apartment at 7:30 this morning, and just now I am settling, and I'm so happy I'm finally here. The flight was nice, but as always, I feel very uncomfortable flying. I'm happy I'm here, but I still have to take another plane back on Saturday, but we'll think about that when the time comes. In the meantime, I'm gonna get some rest. I took off my makeup and took a quick shower, and now it's time for bed because I am completely exhausted. And tomorrow is gonna be a rather long day since I'm gonna meet with my team, and I have some activities planned, and then the day after, same thing, we're gonna have some activities planned, so I'm gonna be busy pretty much the whole 2 days. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to read at all these 2 days, probably not much. I read a little bit in the airplane from the Lost Metal, but honestly, I cannot focus on reading because I could not possibly relax to the extent that it's required for me to actually enjoy my book. But I managed to do some work, so that was nice. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm exhausted. Alright, so I just landed in Sofia 2 hours ago and I checked in my hotel and I took a shower and now I'm about to go to bed because I am exhausted. It's nice to be back. I'm working on my planner for tomorrow. I outlined some things that I needed to do next week during the flight. I checked what I need to accomplish tomorrow. I need to travel back to the town where I actually live because I landed in the capital of the country, and that's pretty much on the other side of Bulgaria. So I have to take a bus for like six and a half hours, which is not very pleasant, but you know, it is what it is. I haven't read pretty much anything, just like I haven't updated you at all. I haven't really had the time or the energy to do any of the updating. I read a little bit like during breakfast every day, like a few pages. I think I like completed like 3 chapters from The Lost Metal, and I haven't read Jack Reacher at all. I read like 1 chapter in the beginning, not even a chapter, just like a few pages, and then haven't had the time to look at it at all. I was hoping to read in the plane, but I can never really relax enough to read. It's gonna be reading tomorrow on the way back home, I'm hoping, and in the evening, and I am hoping to be able to finally finish something else because I only finished 2 books, I think, this month. It's nice to be back. That's all I can say. I'll catch you when I have actually read something or tomorrow on the way back. So, it is Monday evening, the 28th of November, and I came back to my apartment last night very late, so I didn't update you. And during the day, I was very busy settling back into my routine and taking care of everything that was kind of left on the back burner while I was taking care of the team building retreat and stressing about traveling. And I am so happy to not have to do that for a while. I was able to be very productive today. I took care of a lot of things and a lot of tasks again that were kind of left hanging, and I was also able to finish The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson. I finished it like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, and I quite enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars because there were things that I didn't necessarily like. First things first, I would like to say that this book is very fast-paced. Had I had more time to actually sit down and read and focus on that, I would have finished it way earlier. It probably could have taken me less than 2 days to finish it. And every time I would sit down and read for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, I would make tremendous progress. There was no lull in the action. Like the book was really going for it. Every iota of space was utilized for things that were going to progress the narrative. Not to mention there was a lot of the Cosmere revealed to us, a lot of information thrown, and there was a lot of references to other worlds in the Cosmere and other books that I have already read and things that I kind of managed to compartmentalize in my head related to those, and a lot of questions that came to mind and a lot of theorizing about future actions that might be happening on Scadrial. I saw a lot of improvement in terms of character work, as in I kind of like the characters more than I did prior to it. But why I gave it 4 stars is because I still feel like the book was not fully developed. Like not enough proper time has been given to it. Like it was written to fill the gap, but it's not really one of the masterpieces Brandon Sanderson writes. Now, mind you, again, this is still a great book. I just have come to expect more from the author, especially when it comes to Mistborn and that world. And I really feel like in this specific second era of the series, the character work really was suffering. It wasn't as well developed, as well as the general atmosphere of the world. Things were happening really lightning speed, and I guess that's not really my style of things when it comes to high fantasy. Regardless, I think it's a great book, and I think if you haven't read it and you've read the rest of the Mistborn Era 2, I think you should give it a try. And if you haven't at all given a chance to Era 2 because you were worried you won't like it, I think you should let go of these fears and just take the series for what it is and enjoy it for what it is. Now, this vlog has turned into a gigantic project. I haven't sorted through my footage for the past week, and I really have to go through it and put it all together, and I'm kind of dreading it, but at the same time I'm kind of excited to see all the things that I've done, and it's probably not a lot, but in my head it's so many things. Granted, I'm not the best at filming the things that I do. I could have filmed way more, but this was the level that I was comfortable with, that didn't stress me out too much. So you get what you get. I hope you enjoyed it. I am looking forward to starting a new book because this is only my third book I finished this month, and although it's not a race, I still feel kind of, you know what? I feel energized to read more. I am energized to read a lot of books. I want to just read them all right now, so I'm gonna pick up another one and try to enjoy it as much as I can. That's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you have a lovely day or evening, whatever you're facing right now, and I'm gonna see you very soon in another video. Bye!